Hey guys, how's it going? CoderMan here. In today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I put down a reservation and am looking to purchase the 2021 Ford Bronco. So before I dive deep into this topic, I want to let my GT4 fans know that Tedward from Tedward Drives has reviewed my car. So I'll put a link in the description as well as a card and let you guys check out that video. Hopefully you watch this video first, but if that interests you more, click that and go check it out. So as you can imagine, this is a vehicle that you probably wouldn't expect to see on this channel in regards to, like, I generally like sports cars, supercars, things of that nature. But I've been looking for something that has off-road capabilities, isn't super huge. I was looking at the Ford Raptor, but quite frankly, it's out of my price range and I just don't need all of that. I'm not going, on the Baja and things like that. So I just want something that I can go to the back roads with. I can take my bike to trails and kind of just have some fun with that isn't going to break the bank. And you can just see how, first off, it looks similar to a Jeep, which I've kind of always wanted, so that's an interesting thing. I like the Ford brand. My family's always had Ford vehicles growing up, never had a problem with them. Me personally, I would love to own like a classics 40s, 50s Ford truck someday. In regards to this vehicle specifically, it kind of ticks all the boxes for things that I'm looking for. The price is right, the color options are there. It's like the Lego of the off-road world, similar in nature to Jeep, where you can change everything. As these clips are rolling, you'll see that there's screws on the different pieces that are exposed. And what that's for is Ford's basically saying, here's how we're gonna ship it. But if you wanna modify it and do things to it, sky's the limit. Go buy accessories, build accessories, whatever. You can make this yours. This will be like the previous one. And in fact, when you look at the design, they've actually taken a lot of design cues. And one of the videos I watched on, kind of how they created this was they took the older Ford Bronco and actually laser scanned it down to the millimeter and then started modifying it for the modern look and appeal. In the interior, there isn't a ton of information about it, which is actually hilarious for, hey, I want to buy a vehicle, but I don't really know what the interior consists of. There's also no videos or real literature on, how easy the removable doors are. They say they're easy, but no real information. They do store in the back of the vehicle, which is kind of neat. I know with Jeep, you have to take them off and then put them in your garage or put them at the trailhead or something like that. So being able to have them, as long as it doesn't take up all the storage, that's kind of cool. And then, of course, you have the removable roof, which probably can't store that, but that makes sense. Now, in regards to the spec, you can't do too much with that. Right now, all you can do is put your information down, contact your local dealer, and put a reservation in so that they will contact you when allocations become available. Putting in a reservation does not necessarily mean you're going to get an allocation. Of course, there's going to be preference points. That's just how dealers operate. I don't have any pull at Ford dealers, nor am I trying to pay over sticker. So, we're going to see how this goes. And of course, I'll share it with you guys. This definitely would be different than, say, like the Porsche videos and, things of that nature. But it's just something that I've wanted to do for a while. Watched the unveil yesterday, was talking with some friends, and then kind of thought about it and was like, you know what? This is something that I could see owning, and I, put my hat in the ring. And I know a reservation isn't, you purchased a vehicle, but I'm sure I'm gonna get haters that say, oh, you just made this video, for the algorithm or whatever. I didn't. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll put a link in the description. Not sure if it's gonna focus, but I have a reservation for my local Ford dealership. And I will be purchasing that vehicle as soon as it comes available. Now, in regards to the actual spec that I would want, I'm not 100% sure on colors because I've seen some pictures of, different things, but of course nothing's official until the vehicle is actually buildable. So I was looking at the different options and I like the orange that they ship it with in the trailer. I also like the red, it'll match the GT4, so that's kind of cool. But I was also thinking of blue, because it'd be kind of interesting where I have the red GT4, my wife always loves white SUVs, and then I would have a blue off-road vehicle. We would kind of have like a little American flag theme going, which seems kind of cheesy, but at the same time I think it's kind of neat. It would look good in photos, and I also like the color blue, so that's also another, ticks another box. So it comes in different models. There's the Ford Bronco and there's a Ford Bronco Sport. But then there's also, for the Ford Bronco, there's a 2- and a 4-door option. And I personally prefer the 2-door look. It just looks smaller. I think it would be more nimble, and I'm not looking to bring a whole bunch of people or a whole bunch of cargo. So I think that this kind of fits perfectly. On the 2 and the 4, the doors are removable, so you get that, the roof as well. So, you get that no matter what. So for the different trim levels available on the Ford Bronco, whether it's the 2 or the 4-door, I went with the Black Diamond, which is around 37 MSRP, but it just adds some things that you would want to have, like rubber floor mats with drain holes. It has reinforced bumpers and some things like that. And then of course, once you get into the builder, once your dealership calls you and says, hey, your allocation's ready to go, come on in, or maybe they do it online, you'll be able to pick more things like sound systems, lighting, bigger tires, off-road capabilities, things that you would want to add to it. You could do leather interior, although I personally like the vinyl because if you're going to be going off-roading or even just going off on trails, things are going to get dirty. Your shoes are going to get dirty. If you're riding a mountain bike, you come back in, you're going to be dirty. So why not have something that you can easily just hose off and nothing's going to get ruined. For the first look edition, which I believe the reservations are capped out, it comes around $60,000. So I mean, you could build a super expensive off-road vehicle that you may not want to ever actually drive off-road. And that's one of the things that I was really thinking about because you look at like Land Rovers and Range Rovers and things like that, they're made for off-roading, but people just don't drive them off-road because they're so nice, they're so luxurious that you don't want to hurt the paint, you don't want to break something because it's expensive. I don't want a vehicle like that. I want something that I could meet up with my buddies and maybe get to off-roading for real and really enjoy it, or find out that I absolutely hate it. I prefer being in sports cars and tracks and things like that, but I was more of an outdoorsy person when I was younger, so I think that I'll enjoy it again, and I figured why not go with a brand that I enjoy, so we're gonna do just that. In regards to packages, I've kind of gone through the list, and of course we'll add infotainment and things like that if it doesn't come with it. I won't add the luxurious and thrill packages, I don't have a need for it. I definitely will be adding the Sasquatch package, and that gives you larger tires, the suspension gets upgraded, and some off-road capabilities get added. So I figured if that's what you're thinking of doing in the vehicle, why wouldn't you add that? I imagine the vehicle will probably come in around like 41, 42, something like that. I don't expect there'll be any incentives. It is rumored that there will be no markup. Of course, that is dealer independent unless Ford said otherwise. So, of course, we'll look at that. If there is dealer markup and it goes that route like some other limited edition or pre-order cars have in the past, then I'm gonna pass because you get sucked in. If it's something you're gonna own forever, that's great. But if you ever try to sell it, you're gonna be selling it at a loss. And I don't want to support that world where they lock you into pricing because it's a rare, interesting vehicle, because then dealers are going to continue to do it more and more. So let's talk transmissions. You know that I love manuals. And the interesting thing about the Ford Bronco is it does come with a manual option if you get the 2.3 liter. If you want to do the 2.7, unfortunately you can't get a manual transmission. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's for pricing. I'm not really sure. The 2.3 is very capable, and from what I'm seeing, I think it's perfect. I think I would prefer a manual transmission over the automatic 10-speed. But then I'm not really sure because I have friends that they have automatic Jeeps and they prefer that. But sometimes it's just nice to be able to get in there, get into a crawler gear and just kind of, have some fun with it and have more control, as the same if you're in like a sports car or even your daily. I just prefer manual transmissions, so I'm gonna kind of do some more research and figure out which direction I would go on that. So off-roading capabilities. Of course, they're building this so you can off-road it, but you can also, daily drive it if you so desire. They're not too detailed on its capabilities. Of course, Jeeps are known for going on the most treacherous terrain and doing it with ease and not breaking anything for the most part. Of course, if you're going, rock crawling or something, you're going to probably want to reinforce some things, and I'm sure you're going to want to add some additional hardware that I'll be the first to tell you I don't understand the world of rock crawling. I am interested in it. I think it's neat. I just don't personally understand it, so I'm not going to speak to it. But I think that this vehicle is really capable, and going back to kind of the Lego appeal, you can really modify this for what you want. And I think that's kind of neat because a lot of car companies these days are creating like 1 or 2 packages with no accessories community. And Ford's already actually come out and said that there'll be over 200 accessories. Now, I'm sure some of those things are going to be like bike racks and bottle holders and things like that to fill out the catalog. But I'm hoping to see some wheel options, maybe some suspension upgrades, some different grab handles, bushwhackers, things like that. Lights, of course, trail lights, off-road lights, and on-road. Now, towing capacity. Of course, this is something that you probably want to tow. You're most likely not going to be towing a camper. The max is 3,500 pounds regardless of the trim level. And I'm not sure on the Sport because I haven't done really too much research on it. But I'm going to guess based on the actual dimensions of the vehicle, it's probably going to be about the same, if not exactly the same. Could you tow a small trailer? Could you potentially tow a race trailer? Yeah, you probably could if you have a smaller car and not a lot of extras. I don't really think it's for that. Quite honestly, I think it would be more for if, like you say, you had like a trailer with some bikes on it, or you had maybe like a pop-up trailer, you wanted to go with the family for the weekend. But you're not going to be, hauling massive trailers with this. If that's what you want to do, you're going to want to go and get like a Ford Raptor or something if you want the off-road capabilities with the styling. Of course, you could also just go get like an F-150 or a Chevy or Dodge or whatever you want if towing is your main concern. For me, it really isn't though, so I have no issues there. So at the same time that the Ford Bronco was unveiled, or around the same time, I don't know to say the exact hours, but the same day, Jeep actually announced that they're going to be making a V8, and they won't speak too much on it in regards to, when it's coming or anything like that, but they have said that it's going to have a Hemi. And I mean, you gotta say that that's gonna be friggin' awesome. I talked to some buddies that have Jeeps and they've had them for pretty much their whole life, and they said that the Bronco actually fixes some different pain points, and it also opens some questions for how they're gonna handle some different things. I will of course keep you guys updated as more things come out, and as I hear about my allocation. I'm curious to hear in the comments if you're thinking of getting the Ford Bronco, what do you think about it? I really don't like those videos where they like help me build a car, but I am curious, if there's anything in particular that sticks out to you where you're like, hey, you know what? If I was going to do it, this is what I would add. I'm not going to say that I'm going to have YouTube help build me a vehicle. I just really don't like those channels or that angle on a channel. But I wanted to share, what I'm thinking with it, why I'm going in this direction, and why I think it might be a good option. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, give me your thoughts on the Ford Bronco. And as always, stay tuned. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm actually hitting the track this Thursday, so 2 days from when this video comes out. And of course, going to have a whole bunch of content on that. FCP Euro is supposed to be dropping some oil stuff today, so I can do an oil change on the GT4. I have a new jack that I'm going to be showing. It's now not super expensive, but I had to go with a low profile because the car is just so much lower to the ground. And yeah, so we're just going to be creating more car content. And I'm also going to be adding in the business series as time allows. I have some ideas for that. And yeah, just subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll catch you in the next video.